White, Executive Director of the Pacific Resource Partnership, which, as many of you may know from recent coverage, has spent about $1 million or more, most of it targeted toward Ben Cayetano, what some call very negative campaigning, what others who are on your side refer to as very effective. Is that the issue that you'll continue to pound on, though, for this general election period? Whether it's Bob Wattada, who on the one hand acknowledged there was a pay-to-play culture, but on the other said Ben Cayetano was not directly implicated in it. Dennis Mitsunaga has taken out full-page ads to call you to the carpet to ask you to take a lie detector test. Is pay-to-play all those years ago, your allegations of it, something that you think can hold in voters' minds to November, or are we going to have burnout from hearing about it? Aren't there more issues out there?
Sure. Well, let me first say that Bob Wattada has come out as an anti-whale opponent. So I think it's important to put into perspective Bob Wattada's comments on Governor Cayetano.
But I got to ask you, on behalf of those who are funding this program, now this money, if I'm not mistaken, comes from the Carpenters Market Recovery Fund, yes? And it's an unprecedented amount of money that's been spent, $1 million so far.
Right.
What would you say if I was one of those employers that really didn't have a final say in how that got spent? And I said, gee, John, I mean, I see where you're going with this, but that's a lot of money to spend. Could there be? Is this really the most important market recovery issue that we should be spending all these dues on?
And I would say yes, it is.
Will you spend $1 million again? Will you spend millions more?
Well, we're going to do what we believe is the most effective way to talk about the governor's record, to talk about the issues that are important in the mayor's election, in the general election, and as we've done in the primary, we'll continue to do that in general.
Will there be any change in tone, or will you stick with the tone that has taken, which again to the supporters would probably call it hard-hitting, to the opponents would certainly call it negative? Will you continue with the same tone of advertising as you've taken so far?
Well, I think what you've seen tonight is what someone will emerge, either Kirk Caldwell or Peter Carlisle, as the standard bearer for rail, and as the candidate that we'll be supporting in the general election.
What is next? Everybody's probably wondering, how much will you spend between now and November in your efforts?
Sure. Well, we're going to spend what it takes. So what we will do is go back to our advisors to look at what that landscape looks like and to try to present the most effective case that we can for our industry, for our members, and for the voters to consider.
Well, you heard it from John White, Executive Director of Pacific Resource Partnership, which so far in this election has been the heaviest hitting biggest spending amount of money from outside spenders toward this election. And as he said, they'll do whatever it takes.